Hello, and welcome to the Behind the Fic podcast, a podcast where we talk about the wonderful fanfics that people have made across the internet. I'm Kip, and our co-host today is Alhart, and we have Kittmoon here for us today to read her fic. Why don't you introduce yourself and your Tumblr and your fic that you're going to read for us today?
Yeah, thanks. I am Kittmoon. I go by Kit online. I have been writing fan fiction for years now, since middle school. But I am here to read my fic Jaded Seas. It is a Breath of the Wild fan fiction, and it is pre-Calamity.
Yeah. So, prepare your tissue boxes now, folks, because as we all know, pre-Calamity stuff is not the happiest.
It's never the happiest,
No.
but that's okay.
But that's what makes it great. And I think we have to plug our Tumblrs too, right? So your Tumblr is Kittmoon, and it's the same on your AO3.
Correct.
Alhart, why don't you plug your stuff too?
Mine is also just Owlheart. 2 T's.
And then I'm Sarcastic Mudkip on pretty much everything. And yeah. All right, I guess with that out of the way, let's get into it.
Awesome. All right, can I just go?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. At 7 years old, Link received his first blade. He'd been given it as a winter equinox present, but Link's initial joy dissipated when he unfolded the wax and paper package. Gently unfurling the silk wrap, Link let the steel dagger fall easily into his hand. This is a knife, he thought. He'd uneasily suspected for a long time that he would get this as a present. His father, uncle, and grandfather had all asked him if he would like to learn some special skills, but Link knew what that meant. Fighting? He'd asked. Killing people? No, his uncle had said. Just how to be a loyal knight. Sounds pretty cool, right? Link wasn't sure about that, but he'd found his guess proven right when he'd eavesdropped on his parents later, the two of them sitting together by the fire. Squatting on the upper steps, he liked to think he was as silent as a mouse. He has to start learning now, or he'll never have a fraction of a chance of joining the Imperial Guard, came his father's uncertain timbre. His mother's voice was quieter, dulled by the crackling flames. Link heard something along the lines of, prepping him for the sword. That? His father hissed. His mother could be heard this time. Don't pretend you don't have your hopes. Link didn't know what that was about, but from that day forward, the questions had persisted. Wouldn't you like to become a brave knight, Link? His grandfather would ask, the creaking of his rocking chair becoming a steady rhythm as he smoked a long pipe. Link's father would show him some of his older weapons, regaling Link with stories from when they were used, though now they were stacked in a wooden cabinet by the front door. Link never opened the cabinet, though his father said that he was allowed to. And now here they were, all sitting under an evergreen tree decorated with spherical clay ornaments. Link and his older sister had crafted the ornaments together and had painted them with a berry juice and other pigments. There were the standard red and gold ones, and even a few white orbs that looked like muted pearls. He'd had much more fun doing that than he was currently having holding this knife. His mother and father seemed pleasantly surprised by the dagger in his hands, as if they hadn't packaged it themselves, but Link knew better. So did his sister, it seemed, as she sat across from him on her knees, lips pursed, glaring at the weapon in his hands. Why did you get him a knife? She asked, her tone dry. Link's never shown interest. Talia, their mother interrupted, and his sister stood, angry. Link wasn't sure why Talia was this mad, though he understood her base confusion. Link had certainly never asked for a weapon as a present. Talia huffed, then walked out of the house, with no one stopping her. She's 16, Link's aunt murmured. She was a woman who rarely spoke, and she shared their mother's blue eyes and thin lips. Right now they were pressed together like Talia's had been. If she wants to freeze in the snow, that's up to her. Indeed, Link's grandfather murmured. The house was silent for a moment before Link said, Thank you for my present. You're welcome, love, his mother smiled. It was a warm smile filled with hope, and it made Link feel somewhat at ease. That did not last long. Link noticed after a while that the dagger was extremely well made. His parents must have paid a significant amount of rupees for it. The wooden hilt was carved with intricately designed wording, but Link had trouble trying to read it. He'd thought about asking Talia what it said, but he hesitated to bring it up with her. She seemed to be in an icy mood ever since she'd come back to the house that evening, hours after she'd left. "Where have you been?" their father asked pointedly. "Naki's house. They have a big fireplace," Talia responded coolly. "I can't believe you left us on the night of the equinox," their mother scolded, putting her hands on her hips, in the way that she always did when she felt personally slighted. "Clearly what I do isn't any of your concern," Talia said, and had walked back outside before the conversation could continue. She ended up telling Link later, "You don't have to use that if you don't want to." He blinked down at the knife in his hands. His parents seemed to like it when he carried it around with him, so he'd started doing it more often to avoid the questions that would come if he didn't. "It's a quality knife," he said to her. Quality knife was what his father had called it. It must have been something good. Talia rolled her eyes. "You know what they'll make you do," she said. Link didn't actually know, so he furrowed his brow, thinking. "Something about a sword," he murmured, remembering the night that he had listened in, sitting on the steps. For a moment, Talia just looked as confused as he felt. "I imagine they'll have you use one at some point, sure." Then her eyes, brown like their father's, suddenly went very wide. "Oh, hell," she hissed. What? Link grew puzzled as his sister suddenly stood, with the same abruptness as that holiday morning when she had stomped out onto the fresh snow. "I need you to wait here," she told him. They had been sitting on his bed together, but now she was walking away from him and down the steps. The house was big, able to suit Link's entire family. He and Talia were the only children, as their aunt and uncle never had any themselves. As it happened, everyone was inside the house today, and everyone heard the following argument. Link stayed cross-legged on the bed like he had been told. "You're breeding him for the sword," Talia accused in a sharpened tone. "The Master Sword, that's what it is. You want him to pull it." There was a beat of silence that lasted a microsecond too long. "What are you talking about?" their mother asked, quietly, calmly, the voice that she always used when she was employing a saccharine caution. "I'm not stupid," Talia said. "The Master Sword. Maybe breeding is a strong word, but you're training him this early so that he can attempt to pull the Master Sword. I'm not stupid!" "That's none of your business, last I checked," their uncle muttered loudly, inserting himself into the conversation. "Oh, please," Talia spat. Link wasn't sure if he was scared or thrilled to hear his sister speak this way. "You attempted it, father attempted it, grandfather attempted it. You all failed." "So has everyone else," their mother said defensively. "They just gave it a shot, like half the kingdom." "Oh, giving it a shot," Talia countered. "Is that what you call obsessively researching the legends, using half of the family savings to send our son to Castletown, constantly fantasizing about the total revival of enough?" their aunt shrieked. "We have a right to try. The king clearly stated that everyone in Hyrule has that right." "Of course, as long as a hefty fee is paid," Talia yelled. "If we were as committed as you claim, your aunt and I would have taken to trying as well," came their mother's voice, low and falsely tough. Talia laughed oddly, unevenly, spitefully. "You and Aunt Maya would never dare touch a sword. You're too busy polishing the silverware, daydreaming of nights you wish were on duty." There was a womanly gasp, incredibly sharp, perhaps from their aunt, who was always a bit shrill. Even Link knew what Talia had said was a low blow, considering both Uncle Fen and their father had been off duty for some time. Link instinctively curled himself into a tighter ball, pulling his knees to his chest, still unsure of his comfort level. "Link's only purpose is not just to pull a damn sword," came their grandfather's voice, stern and even, apparently unwilling to fall into that particular thorn bush. "You won't even let him explore anything else he may want to do," Talia said, and for the first time her voice became tinged with sorrow. "You're just expecting him to go into the military like the rest of you. You're acting as if he has no other choice. Don't pretend that once he turns 12 you won't cart him straight to Castletown." "Don't tell us how to raise our son," their mother hissed. Link could hear the antsy tone in her voice. She wasn't one for conflict. "He's my brother," Talia shouted. "I'm another adult in his life." Link didn't remember much more. There were a lot of loud voices, and Link was tired, so he dipped himself under this thick winter blanket. It was cozy underneath, with the wool keeping the warmth from escaping. He fell asleep surprisingly quickly, but he clutched the knife into his chest as he did so, both his hands wrapped around the hilt. Perhaps if he treated the knife as his and only his, as it theoretically was, then no one could tell him how to wield it. The next afternoon, Link's mother walked up to him carefully. He was sitting by the pond outside, with several differently colored apples balanced on a tree stump. "What are you doing?" she asked him. Her voice was warm again, and Link preferred that voice, so he turned to his mother and told her contentedly, "I'm trying different apples to see if they taste different." His mother's eyes widened, but she didn't seem mad. "Is that what you like to do?" Link nodded. "Talia and I did this last week with wild berries. The green ones taste really sour, but the yellow ones taste even sweeter than the red ones," he explained. "Talia said it was an experiment." His tongue tumbled over the new word. "I see," she said. "Talia said that she would ask Aunt Maya if we could use her cooking pot, and she said that we could make a pie." Link was very excited at this prospect, as he rarely got a chance to cook, let alone with Talia. "Well, I'll definitely ask Aunt Maya about the pot. I'm sure she'll say yes," his mother said. Then her eyes drifted to the knife currently laid upon the stump. "Are you cutting fruit with that?" Link hesitated to answer, suddenly almost positive that he wasn't allowed to. But his silence seemed to be enough of an answer. She sighed. "That's not a slicing knife, Link." She seemed a little annoyed now. "Sorry," Link murmured, because he wasn't sure what else he could say. His mother sighed again. "It's okay," she said, seemingly on autopilot, and then she turned and left him at the pond. It was cold out. Link wondered when his mother would ask his aunt about the cooking pot. A warm slice of pie would definitely be good to eat. He never heard about the cooking pot, however. The following summer, Link began his training. He suspected that his family had waited for a little while, allowing some buffer time in response to Talia's accusations. Link was 8 years old now and could do such things. They started out small. The family owned a standard training dummy, but it was meant for adults, so they bought a stone stool in the village for Link to stand on as he practiced his motions at eye level with the dummy. It didn't look humanoid. Rather, it was a simple cylinder, stitching filled with hay, reaching its full height at 6 feet off the ground, according to his uncle. Link was taught to thrust at it quickly, with up-close, simple stabs. Whenever he cut well enough that hay spilled out, his father would laugh, clapping him on the back. "That's right, that's how you do it," he'd say. Link would smile, though it made him a bit uncomfortable. He was 8 now, and therefore knew that hay represented a blood from an enemy. He was glad, relieved maybe, that he knew this. It made him feel immune to sugarcoating. Sugarcoating is what Talia called his lessons. She barely spoke to the adults now, unless when strictly necessary. "Pass the salt," she would say, not, "Excuse me, Uncle Fen, would you please pass the salt," as Link was taught to request. She and Link would still do their experiments, though. Link was now fluent when pronouncing the word experiment. They never got the proper cooking pot, but Talia was able to purchase a substitute, a small iron box with a lid that could be put over a fire to cook tiny foods. So far, they had made cookies and one baked apple that they ate together. Link had concluded, via his experiment that past winter, that the dark red apples tasted the sweetest. But the lighter red apples were the best to bake, as they didn't get too disgustingly mushy. Talia never asked him about his training. She would remark on it from time to time, usually with scorn, but she didn't ask him what he thought. She seemed to know, as he did, that his lessons were just a part of life now, and so they ate their apples. That is it. That is chapter 1 of Jaded Seas, and there are 6 chapters in total.
Yeah, that was great. Like, all that aside, you have a really nice voice for audiobooks. I would listen to 10 out of 10 would listen again. Okay.
I know my parents will be listening to this podcast, so I have to thank them for teaching me how to read things out loud properly.
Oh, see?
I definitely got that from them, for sure.
Well, thank you, Kit Seniors, for making a great audio person. What's the word? What's the word for an audio book?
An audiobook.
Giving her a nice voice and
yes.
writing skills. So,
yes.
Good job, Jeans. Okay. So, yeah, that was chapter 1 of 6 in...
Yeah.
And they honestly, like, at the same time, the chapters are, like, long, but they also fly by because, like, there's only, like, 6 of them, so it's just, like... So it's
And then suddenly the story is over.
And suddenly the story is over. Ah, the ending. Like, okay. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Alhart, we're just gonna... I'll do a question, you'll do a question, and we'll just alternate like that, right? I don't know how many you have, but... I have like 7 here. I don't plan to use them all unless... Okay, yeah, so
But I can probably come up with more on the spot.
Yeah. I think depending, I'll probably check the time. It should be like around 45. So we just need to save time at the end for a non-question. Okay.
Awesome.
Edit that out. We know what we're doing. So, okay. So Kit, so here's my first question for you. So, Jaded Seas, the title of your fic, I would think that it has like several interpretations. Like seas, you could refer to like Link drowning in his newly given responsibilities, or like his innocence being jaded away. But what was your initial interpretation for giving the title Jaded Seas?
Right. So, fun fact, Jaded Seas was not this fic. Jaded Seas was the title of a work in progress that I had earlier this year, or earlier last year, I guess you could say. But it was about Link's relationship with Mifa as like a child. And Jaded Seas in that fic referred to like the color of Link's eyes. Everybody says that they look like beautiful blue pools, right?
Nice.
And Mifa, they're surrounded by water. They're surrounded by kind of ways to escape the swimming.
Right.
When I started writing this fic, I knew I wanted to use the theme of storms, and that comes up occasionally. So I kept the title because I was like, damn, that's a really good title. So I kept it. And then, same with Link's eyes. And you actually hit it right on the nose. Link is drowning. And I really wanted to keep it. Like he's becoming jaded as he grows up. I wanted to set a baseline for how he becomes that super silent, I guess 18-year-old that we see him as in the game.
Yeah. And it's like slight follow-up to that, sorry. But like, so you came up with the title before writing the fic. So was the concept made like around this title, or like did you just shove the two together?
Yeah, so originally the fic had been a part of Linktober, actually. I think I talk about this in the notes before chapter 1 on AO3. But originally I was following Hedge's prompt list on Tumblr for Linktober. And day 16, I made it to day 15. And then day 16 was Weapon. And I wanted to write a short story about the first weapon Link ever got, and that was the knife. But once I wrote chapter 1, I was like, this isn't a one shot anymore. So I stopped Linktober at day 15. And I kept writing, and I didn't have a title for it. But after I finished chapter 1, that's when I called it Jaded Seas, and I kept writing it because I had that title from the other fic that I was writing. So I took it. It got its title after chapter 1 was finished. I stole it from another work in progress that I had.
All right.
How'd you get the idea for Talia? Like, when did you come up with her?
I don't have an older sister, but I am an older sister. But the gap between me and my sibling is 2 years. It's not as large as Talia and Link's. In creating kind of all of the characters that appear in this story, I needed Link to have someone who was really on his side, because Zelda is not really in this story. I mean, she's in the story, but she doesn't really know Link, right?
She's not as much as a player in it.
Yep. I wanted him to have, one of the themes that I really like in this fic is Link's relationship to women. Like, he has a lot of women around him, and he gets to see how they act in different ways. And I needed Talia to be the polar opposite of all of the negative influences that he had. And I had so much fun writing Talia. It was like, if I had a little brother and this was happening to me, like if I had a brother as young as Link, I would be saying the exact same things. And she was really fun to write. I liked writing her a lot.
Yeah. And
she's
as
a fun character to read.
I know, right? Like, she's like, there's an analogy somewhere about here. This like the sea, and it's like she's like a life raft in like an ocean for Link, basically. She's just like this one, well, not one good. Like, I think his grandfather had some like redeeming qualities too, but she's like the main life raft Link has, basically, in all of this mess. And I love that for her. And I love what you said about the females in his life, because there's a question later on from an Anon that's going to be really good for that.
But, yeah.
Anyway, moving on. we're kind of jumping on this Talia tangent. So in the end of chapter 6, you said in the notes that like here I want to like quote it because you said there's a lot about Talia that I never got to get into, but that's like my own original character, and nobody's got time for that. Anyhow, thanks for your time. Tips hat. Good night.
Tips hat. Yes.
So now we got time for that since we're here. So why don't we? What else about Talia did the other readers never get to see?
I have gotten at least 5 questions in my inbox since the last chapter was published, asking if Talia was gay and or in a relationship with Naki. And I mean, yes, you heard it here first. That is for sure the case. I never really got to go into it. Here's the thing: there were a few things I never got to go into, and I ended up making something that like it wouldn't have been canon. I mean, because the Master Sword was in the Lost Woods. Number 1. And number 2, there's no Mifa in this story at all. Which there could have been, but there wasn't. Talia is gay. Talia was in a relationship with Naki, and she had a few other village friends that she hung out with. She didn't spend a lot of time at home. I had all of these ideas for her, and I should post a picture of it on my Tumblr because I have in one of my notebooks a bullet list of just stuff about her because I wanted her to sound right. So I had come up with all of these facts about her life, so that I could pull from those influences. But yeah, there was a lot that I never got to go into. She was my own original character. I didn't want to clog it too much because it was about Link. But yes, she is gay for everybody asking. And she is the older sister that I would have wanted if I ever got an older sister. Like, she's badass.
Yeah. She acts the way that like I would if like because like I think she's like 10 years older than Link, right? Ish. Yeah, because like I have the same gap with like my brother, and whenever she's so protective of like Link in the fic, it like really resonates with me because that's like if my little brother was like forced to do all this shit. So even though you said that you don't have an older sister yourself, I would say that you wrote it like really well, and this makes me teary-eyed.
Thank you.
Why was his family so hooked on the sword? Was it just for story setup, or did you have like any reasoning behind it?
I obviously the info that we get on Link's family in the game is really limited. And we know that his father was a knight, so I had it where a lot of the dudes in his family ended up being a knight, and Link does actually end up following in that path, but I knew that I didn't want the sword to be in the Lost Woods. I knew I wanted it to be more of a, Sword in the Stone story. And if they only allow a few citizens to pull the sword every year, I wanted it to be a big deal. Like if everybody in the family was a part of the Imperial Guard at one point, or every guy in the family, then, if you had all of your sons as members of the Imperial Guard with pulling the sword on their rap sheet, that would be pretty great. And the women, Link's mom and Aunt Maya, they both are like obsessed with the legends of the Ancient Calamity. They don't want it to happen, but they really like they're nerds. Basically. They're nerds, and
it's like when you like read like storybooks or like history books about great tragedies in the past. Like
yes,
like I don't want it to happen, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I mean, we're all in fandom. We know how greedy nerds get, and yeah. So they're obsessed with the sword, but if you remember, like in Castletown, for those of you who have not read the story, for those maybe listening, Link does eventually go to Castletown to try to pull the sword. And when he goes to pull the sword, there are like 100 people waiting outside the Castletown gates. They are just like his parents. They are obsessed with the sword. Some in an unhealthy way.
Yeah.
That was one of those themes that wasn't originally planned. It developed as I wrote it.
Yeah.
This like unhealthy relationship with like stories and grandeur that you forget about like the realities of actual life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Hold on. Sorry. Edit this out. I dropped my freaking phone.
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
Kate. I'm sorry that we're making
we know what we are doing. Okay. Okay. I got it. We got it. Okay. Sorry. So kind of moving on from like adding on to like this moving this sword to like a different location where it's more grand and stuff. There was a lot of new world building elements that you implemented into your story. So I wanted to get into one about the dragon monks. Oh wait, I feel like I know you said like in case you haven't read the story, but spoiler alert for this fic. And if you haven't read it, then what are you doing here? Go read it right now. But in the story, Link receives a knife that has the word Thunderborn on it, and he gets it because his father was given this gift by a dragon monk who basically like correctly predicted who the hero was going to be. So my question for you would be, so what further role does like, because like we don't hear a lot about these dragon monks, like what other mysterious info do you have about them and their role in this world of Hyrule that you have?
Okay, so I in the time that I wrote this fic, I spent a lot of time poring over the Creating a Champion book. Just because, random Tuesday.
Yeah.
But
That's what, as you do, as
don't we all?
it's like my Bible.
Right. So I saw all of these like super like ancient like the ancient columns and the stone circles, all of these like mysterious ruins, and there were some explanations given but not a lot. And I know that like for those listening, Kip is great because Kip actually has a lot of theories on like what a lot of ancient structures were used for. And I was thinking about the ancient columns, and Kip had a whole theory about how they were used for worship of the Fae, maybe. But it got me thinking about kind of what other micro religions there might be throughout Hyrule back then. And I thought about dragon monks in Faerun because I know that Farosh is, chilling over there.
Yeah.
There were theories about the Zonai and how they might have been worshipping Farosh at the time. I knew that the knife was going to say Thunderborn. And that is in reference to, courage and thunder and all the hero associated symbolism in Zelda, right? And the dragon monks are, they're purposefully vague. They're kind of I called them micro religion before, but yeah, that's accurate. They're like a micro religion, in Faerun. And they, Fate has to edit this out. There's a moth in my room. So
oh no, okay.
Sorry. Anyway, no. The dragon monks.
Yeah.
They're a micro religion. No, you're okay. I'm sorry, Fate. They're a micro religion.
Okay.
That's basically what they are. There's not a lot of mystery to them. They have some divination practices, but I didn't develop them a lot. I might use them in a later fic, though. We shall see.
We shall see. All right.
Yes.
I really liked the idea of the food experiments. How'd you?
Yeah, I'm saying. Sorry. Okay. We're confident. Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
Like, how'd you come up with the food experiments?
My sibling loves baking. They are like the best at it. They're a better cook than I am, and they love baking. And together we look at tiny food on the internet, and I was like, I didn't want them to get the cooking pot because the cooking pot would have symbolized like warmth and security that they didn't have. So
that's a good analogy.
Right. But I was like, what is a replacement that they can have that isn't a cooking pot but will still allow them to cook food? And I just came up with the tiny box. I was like, surely this has to work, right? Like as a miniature oven. But yeah, like it really represents kind of the small bits of fun and joy that they can extrapolate from their lives because they both have a lot going on. And they can really only manage to cook these tiny things. But it does, still means a lot. I mean, he gets her cookbook in the end.
Yeah. Man.
Sorry, Kip.
No, it's okay. Well, all right. So segues are weird. Was Jaded Seas always meant to end the way it did? Like, in your notes, you mentioned that it was supposed to only have like 4 chapters. So, like, did this change the way like you initially wanted it to end, or like what changed this?
For those listening, spoiler alert from here on out. I'm not holding anything back in terms of.
Yeah, you better read the fic. Stop listening.
Yeah, read the fic, guys, and then come back. Yes, so the only reason that it ended up splitting into 6 chapters instead of 4 was because I didn't want the chapters to be too long. The story, the way it rolled out, had been planned. None of the ending really changed. It just got too long where I was like, this is really 2 chapters instead of 1, so I started splitting things up. But Talia was always going to die. She was always going to die.
Man. Dang.
Yeah. Because
I don't like this fic anymore, actually.
Yeah, so she was always going to die, and I really wanted to explain where Link came from. That baseline of like a happy kid turning into somebody who appears to be a not so happy young adult. I basically wanted him to have not a lot of connection left to his family to keep. I wanted his emotional attachment to be mostly at the castle now. And with Talia still alive and at home, or if she had like moved with him to Castletown, it wouldn't have been quite right. Which I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I feel really bad.
I think that is necessary.
When stories
like,
force you to kill the character.
Yeah, stories. I think because killing a character is like an effective tool for like really severing important ties to a character to force them into different. So like, if I think Talia's death like was necessary anyway for Link in the future of like Breath of the Wild to get attached to maybe like Zelda or something in the future to make new connections with even Mipha or something. Because if he no longer has any attachments to his biological family, then that moves him on to like the champion family. So, but don't read the fic anymore. It's bad because
Yeah. BTF does not endorse this fic.
BTF, yeah. Okay. Oh, and I think we'll just do one more. You can do one more, and I'll do one more, and then I'll do the anon question. Okay.
Awesome. Wait, what was the hardest part for you to write or come up with?
Oh, that's a good question.
Stole my question, dang.
I think, honestly, that writing Link's grief is the hardest part because I am very lucky. I have lost 2 grandparents, but I lost them both fairly young, and I wasn't really close to either of them. And they were, amazing people and good grandparents, but it didn't affect me as much as like it would now if I lost a grandparent. And I've never lost a pet. I've never lost a friend. So grief is something that I know is coming, but I haven't experienced it yet. So it took me a long time to figure out how I'd like spent a good day and a half ruminating over it without writing anything. To figure out how to write Link's grief, and to put myself in his shoes of like, where is he now? Because like he's going to the castle in 2 days, so I guess that's the universe saying, all right, get going. But it really sucks. So that was definitely the hardest part for me, and I needed to find the right vocabulary. I wrote a draft for that final chapter, and then it was like great, but then I went back and I rewrote like the first half of it when Link is like really processing it. And I still don't know if I did a perfect job because I have not experienced grief like that. I don't really know how accurate of an assessment that ended up being. But to answer your question, that was definitely the hardest part.
Yeah. Man. Okay. Sorry. I don't know how to articulate emotion, so I'm just gonna say man whenever things get okay. All right. Just imagine the horse on the ocean whenever I say that. Okay. Well, you stole my question. Thanks a lot, jerk. And so okay, how about this? Every writer, or at least I would say most of my writer pals anyway, would have they usually have like details when they write their fic. There's like, oh, if anyone pays attention to this, they'll be so sneaky. so do you have any like fun details or like areas where you're like, oh, I hope someone notices this and connects the dots for your fic?
Am I your writer pal, Kit?
Yes, you are. Of course you are.
Yes. So Kiata was a character that I also had like a lot of fun playing with. I mean, she's not there for a long time.
Mhm.
But one of the pieces of advice that she gives Link is soothe your mount, because that's the only way it'll know how you truly feel.
Oh
And that is and putting together the dots, yes.
Yeah, I
That
have
is
put together the dots.
that is eventually the advice that he gives Zelda on how to soothe her mount later, much later, like much later. So I really wanted to get, for those who may have caught it, like Kiata was not around for very long, but Link really kept her presence close and
Through
really
all
kept
those
her in
years,
mind.
dang.
Yeah, so that was that was one. Ooh, I mean, Thunderborn was kind of a more obvious one, because when this cursive was revealed right before Link pulls the sword and what it said, that was like that, that's like a more obvious one to see if people will connect the dots on kind of what it means.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the one that I definitely put in there that I'm like, every time I reread it, I'm like, oh yes, was Kiata saying that.
Man. Yeah. Sorry, I did it again. Yeah.
I'm just gonna take that as like I left an emotional impact on Kip
You
every
did
time
leave
you
it
say that.
And that's what makes a good fic. BTF endorses this emotional fic.
We're back to
Until
endorsing
chapter
this
6. Only until chapter 5. That's it.
fic.
Okay. Well, let's get into this Anon question. So,
Yes.
on the BTF Tumblr blog, you can send in a question to some of the writers that we're going to interview, and we'll pick it if it's good. And if it's not good, then too bad. Anyway, here's a good one. So here, I'll just quote them. A question for Kittmoon. One of the biggest themes that my friends and I noticed when we read Jaded Seas was Link's relationship with women and female role models. Was that something you had in mind when writing in the fic?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm honored that like you and your friends got together and read it, unless you're talking about like your online mutual friends. But like if like a bunch of school children got together and read my fic, that would be the
It's
most
like a
surreal
book club,
thing.
yeah.
I mean, so yeah, now we can go into it. I wanted that to be a theme from the very beginning. And again, that was one of the themes in the original Jaded Seas that had Mifa in it. So, he has his parents, his mom, Aunt Maya, and his late grandmother, who exist in the traditional role of women, but they also, what they want out of their life is done through what men can do. They want husbands who are knights. They want Link to go on, and because if Link, they didn't want Link to be the hero. They weren't expecting him to be the hero. They just wanted him to live up to the standard that the rest of the family had set, and they're kind of like living vicariously through that, but they drift on the wind. They're not really attached to anything that they themselves accomplish. Kiata, well, hold on, not Kiata. Talia is somebody who's the polar opposite of that, but she has her friends in the village. But when it comes to her household, there's no one who she really bounces off of and connects with other than Link, who is younger than her. And she doesn't really feel like she has the right to be as out there and as free as she wants, because there is familial responsibility that she knows she has. And she has Link, who she has to take care of. And she knows that if she, like ditches him to go live in, I don't know,
man.
that would not be good. So, but Kiata is like the perfect, like Kiata's arc is complete. She, you meet her when her character arc is already done. She is mature. She is sure in herself. She doesn't follow anybody except for herself. And that is, I really wanted Link to see that before he even met Zelda, right? because, Zelda's Zelda. So she's in a separate category.
Yes.
But Kiata is the person that I really wanted Link to keep in mind as he grew up. Like, when he ends up fighting for Hyrule, his dedication comes from somewhere, and part of it comes from there are all types of people that you're going to meet in life, and some of those people are going to expect things of you that you might not want, just like people expect things of Zelda that she might not want. There's a reason that he understands that, but he also understands where she's coming from as a woman. Like, he can connect it to his past. And Zelda ends up really reminding him of Talia. She wants more out of her life than what's being given to her. But whereas he never really knew a lot about Talia's life, and he also never really thought to ask, Zelda, he's following her every day. So he's learning more about her, and he's trying to give her what he can. So that was one of the so that was one of the themes that I really wanted to get across, and that is definitely, if you read this in your little book club and you were like, this is the biggest theme of Jaded Seas, that's correct. You heard it here first.
You get a 10 out of 10 in fic analysis. Good job,
Anand. 10 out of 10, yes.
Man, well, that's quite man. Just like Zelda reminding him of his sister who's dead. Man, okay, whatever. Well, all right. Well, unless we got any last minute notes you want to put in, like maybe Talia isn't dead and you revived her later. I don't know, but
I don't know if I will expand on the AU. I have gotten some DMs asking from mutuals who shall not be named, asking if that's happening. I don't have any plans for it right now. I'm not saying never. I'm just saying nothing's in works at the moment.
All right. Okay. Cool. Coward. No. And anyway,
if people want to ask me questions, they are free to DM me or send questions into my inbox. That's what I'll leave you with, and I will answer any question that you want.
Perfect segue to us linking everything again. So Kittmoon's fic, Jaded Seas, will be in the description. Make sure to follow her on AO3 and Tumblr, KITTMOON, and follow our blog. Follow Behind the Fic. That's with the dashes on Tumblr, and obviously follow. I don't know if you noticed, but Faye isn't here today, so I have usurped her. But follow her because she's the one who put this all together. So.
Yeah, I will say that this is an amazing setup. I've been in contact with Kip ever since Kip got chosen to be a co-host, and like, this is an amazing podcast. So thank you to Fate for putting it all together, because it's truly awesome.
Hell yeah.
And I'm glad I got to do this. It's been surreal, but good.
Yeah. And obviously follow Owlheart and me. Owlheart and you want to plug your stuff again? I think it's spelled the same, right? With 2 T's?
Yeah. Yeah, Owlheart, 2 T's.
And then I'm Kip. And now that we have successfully proven our egoism, I think that's a great place to leave off this fic. So thank you everybody for listening, and make sure to tune in next time. Bye!